Hello and welcome to this abridged version of Nationwide. I am Dennis Adegunloye. And we'll begin with a major development at the National Assembly, where the Senate has suspended Senator representing Bauchi Central, Senator Abdul Ningi, over claims related to 2024 budget. It also resolves to take further necessary steps to correct the wrong impression in the public domain on the 2024 budget as created by an interview Senator Ningi granted to a foreign radio station and was amplified by Senator Kawu Sumela on social media platforms. The resolutions were sequel to a motion from Senator Solomon Olamilekan, who chairs the Senate Committee on Appropriations. In the motion, Senator Olamilekan stated that Senator Ningi made grave allegations against the executive, the president and the Senate, which insinuated that the executive is implementing a 25 trillion naira budget instead of the 28 trillion naira. Senator Olamilekan explained that the budget implemented is 28 trillion naira, but that, as is the practice, the statutory transfers which fall under the first line charge are not itemized. And President Bola Tinubu has sent the 2024 budget proposal of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, to the House of Representatives for consideration and subsequent passage. Speaker House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas read the President's letter conveying the FCTA budget proposal at Tuesday's plenary. Although the estimates were not specified, the FCTA budget takes into consideration the 2024 to 2026 economic recovery and growth plan, as well as key assumptions in the 2024 national budget.
Creation, youth empowerment, and increased productivity in agriculture in order to lift as many citizens as possible out of poverty. I hereby forward the 2024 statutory budget proposal of the FCTA and trust that it will receive the kind consideration and expeditious approval of the House of Representatives. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, signed, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
National Assembly correspondent Mitairi Ikmen reports that a bill to amend selected sections of the Criminal Code Act 2004 to provide for stiffer penalties has also passed second reading on the floor of the House. Now, ECOWAS is making moves to advance components of its trade liberalization scheme to give bite to the sub-region's economic integration goals. Specifically, the regional bloc is focusing on how to eliminate obstacles on the path of cross-border trade in agricultural produce, especially oil palm. Kelvin Vonaye reports.
ECOWAS region produces much of the oil palm and its products consumed in member states. But local production is complemented with imported palm oil. Therein lies the challenge for custom officials in the region, who are in most cases unable to differentiate between local and imported versions. This has made implementation of ECOWAS free movement of goods regarding palm oil difficult, and thereby slowing down the growth of the sector. This meeting of stakeholders from the 6 oil palm producing countries is to find a way to equip custom officials with the tools they need to do their job better without compromising the spirit of the ECOWAS economic trade liberalization scheme.
You know that our region is a producer of palm oil, and we have been encountering some problems lately. So we invited all the countries to come and discuss, have a French discussion in order to solve the issues.
If you take a country like Nigeria, the capacity, then Nigeria can double even its production in palm oil. But we need to put in place some incentives so that ECOWAS, through ECOWAS ETLS, so that they will be able also to take advantage on that and to cover for example, the Nigerian market and go beyond the Nigerian market and take advantage to hold the ECOWAS countries and also do more.
A roadmap for the advancement of the sector is expected at the end of the 3-day engagement. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebunwaye, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has launched various trade support programs for Nigeria. The programs include Digital Trade Initiative and Entrepreneurship Funding, support towards developing Nigeria's trade. The Director General also launched the Standards Trade Development Facility, STDF project, for Nigeria towards adopting and enforcing sanitary and phytosanitary requirements for Nigeria's trade and export of cowpea, sesame seeds and safe trade in line with global standards and certification.
To better understand market access requirements, we are devoting extensive efforts through our One Trade Africa program to ensure that Nigerians' small businesses, especially those led by women, youth, and vulnerable communities, can take advantage of the opportunities created through the AFCFTA.
The STDF 845 project is supported by the WTO, the World Bank, and the International Trade Center, with the Nigerian Exports Promotion Council, NEPC, as the implementing agency.
Also be used to train local food safety advisors. This type of project is one I term low expenditure and high impact.
The STDF project is designed to last for 3 years, backed by 30% counterpart funding from the NEPC and other development partners. The International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, says it is committing resources to the takeoff of the Nigeria agro-processing zones. IFAD Associate Vice President Dr. Donald Brown says he is in Nigeria to discuss with relevant agencies and government officials how to support Nigeria in improving food production. Musa Baba Ali reports.
In November 2022, Nigeria began its journey towards establishing special agro-industrial processing zones in the country. $520 million was needed for the initiative, with the International Fund for Agricultural Development and partners pledging $310 million. The federal government is committing $18.05 million and African Development Bank, AFDB, $210 million. However, the project is yet to take off as only 2% of the required fund was made available.
We are still waiting for one of the Nigerian states to finalize their agreement, and we need that quickly to be able to accelerate progress.
In the first phase, we have 7 states plus Abuja. So I will say 8 participating entities in the first phase. On the second phase, we have received expression of interest from 27.
Nigeria and IFAD are also jointly funding the first phase of Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises project for the Niger Delta. The first phase is ending with the 2 parties showing commitment for additional financing of the project.
The smooth implementation of the Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprise, the Niger Delta Live ND, Value Change Development Programs VCDP, additional financing AF and Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone SAPZ program underscores the unique quality of our laudable partnership.
On the part of government, we must receive all the necessary needs that should get to IFAD to follow their own due process, and if that is done, it makes it easier.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprise project for the Niger Delta has created agribusiness of more than $30 million in the 6 states. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Away from agricultural matters, after several weeks of relief following the activation of power supply from the gas-powered emergency project of the NNPC in Maiduguri, residents of the city and its environs are once more experiencing power outage, getting to 2 weeks now. as a result of the vandalization of power facilities by insurgents that cut off the state from the national grid. Pauline Kujevana reports that the situation is being compounded by the steady rise in temperatures in that part of Nigeria known for its abundant hot and humid weather conditions.
The city of Maiduguri already grappling with the aftermath of Boko Haram destruction of high-tension power lines that led to activation of the gas plants meant to provide relief during such emergencies has unfortunately not been able to adequately address the power needs of the city, which has been plunged into darkness for several days now. Amidst this crisis, media organizations and other high-power demanding institutions are forced to navigate the dual challenges of power scarcity.
We transmit about 18 hours on radio from 6 to 12 midnight, transmitting with diesel, and it has not been easy. I wish that this issue of light will be restored so that it can ease our transmission.
We normally transmit for 24 hours and we have to cut it down to 16 hours because of the high cost of diesel.
Residents, on the other hand, are left to cope with the disruption to their daily lives and businesses.
Customers are complaining, everybody is complaining, and the government need to fix this light before things will get out of hands.
Every day we have to spend it like 3 liters, 4 liters. It's not helping us.
An attempt by NTA News to reach out to the Yola Electricity Company and gas plant station for comment on the situation have not been successful. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
And joining me live now is Zainab from Maiduguri with further details on the power outage amidst the harsh weather conditions. Hello Zainab, just give us an update on how the situation there is impacting the residents.
Hi Dennis, thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. This is not the first time Maiduguri is experiencing total power outage, but this time around the ripple effect doubled up amidst scorching heat, which is unbearable for people fasting Ramadan and Christian Lent season. More worrisome is that the Maiduguri emergency power plant that serves as an alternative, which served the city center for like 2 months, has went off for the past 2 weeks. In January 2020, 3 electricity power tower lines in Jakana village were destroyed by the insurgents. 2 more followed suit, and in April 2020, a temporary gas plant to serve the city center, which is equivalent to the national grid because it powers almost every household appliances. However, to residents, the week-long darkness is becoming an issue because they tend to lose count of when it will be rectified for them to go back to their normal activities, store things in the refrigerator or get cold water. It might interest you to know that currently a sachet pure water of ice block, if accessible, is sold at the rate of 200 naira, 300 naira or 400 naira, and a bag of cold water is for 500. Last month, normally a room temperature of a bag of pure water is sold at the rate of 120, 150, but now it doubles up. And again, other business owners who opt into the generator and solar have doubled up their prices, including tailors. Some communities are currently facing water shortage because most of the water facility, like 90%, depend on power to generate water. People living in Polo, Dala, and Gwenge can attest to this. Similarly, organizations that are running on diesel are lamenting bitterly about it. So far, the authorities involved are not saying anything, but NTA gathered that the temporary gas plants developed a software problem. However, residents are appealing to the state government to look into this issue so that the current weather, which is reading between 42 and...
All right, Zainab, many thanks for that update. We hope things will improve soonest there in Maiduguri. All right, let's now head over to our Lagos Network Center for updates from that zone.
Thank you, Dennis. Muslims have been called upon to use the period of Ramadan to seek for Allah's face in humility and pray for His mercy upon the country. But Ajia came reports that Islamic clerics urged faithful to shun any act that goes against the doctrine of the Almighty Allah, peace be upon Him.
Islam. It is mandatory for Muslims to fast during the period, except those that fall under the exemption list, like breastfeeding mothers, those with health challenges, those on long journeys, among others. Ramadan, according to Muslim clerics, preaches equality, love, and unity.
It is incumbent or compulsory for all the Muslim, male or female, young or old, to fast when it comes to the month of Ramadan, because it's an obligatory fasting, not voluntarily.
We are the same level, either poor man and rich man, all are in the same level, because everybody is observing fasting. So this will encourage the rich man also to know that really poor men are suffering, so to assist them.
These Muslim faithful say they will use the Ramadan period to move closer to Almighty Allah, study His words, and reflect on His teachings.
At least for a Muslim brother or a sister should be able to finish a Quran, to read it finish in this month of Ramadan, and to be able to be doing charity to others. Whoever that doesn't have, one can give him.
This month is a holy month. People must demonstrate and exhibit a good character of a Muslim. You must be committed to all your prayer. You must be committed to the Islamic doctrine. And it's not a month that every good Muslim should toy with.
The Ramadan fast is expected to last for 29 or 30 days. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
In January this year, the Lagos state government announced the ban on the use and distribution of styrofoam and other single-use plastics for storage or preservation of food within the state. This is because of the hazards they cause to the environment, including health implications. What is the level of compliance to this directive and enforcement by concerned authorities? Hinkino John Adams will tell us.
Has shown that styrofoam not only poses threat to human health, but can also be harmful to the environment. According to environmentalists, styrofoam takes 500 years to decompose and cannot be recycled. This petroleum-based product is also considered harmful to human health. This led to its ban in Lagos State. Although many food vendors have complied with the ban, a few people are still making use of styrofoam to package food. Aisha Umar, a food vendor, was once making use of single-use plastics to package food for her customers before the ban.
The fuel where we they use, the dirty cutter, dirty everywhere. So water no they feel good. That's why we they buy this one now, not that one again. People they complain. Some people na nylon. Now they say we put food. If they cannot afford the money, they will say we should put it inside place so that we eat it here.
Single of it is like 200 naira. So that times I'm like 200 naira. Okay, better I just eat now. Let me just eat and I'll return the plates to you guys.
Bolaji Adeniyi, an auditor, believes advocacy should be stepped up.
I went to a eatery there, I saw it, and immediately I saw it, I caught the attention of somebody that is deputizing for the manager. And I showed him, I said, haven't you heard about it? He said they've heard that they came, but that is the last talk. And I said, please, get rid of it.
As at last week, I see some people using styrofoam to sell to people food. The problem is not with the people, it is the enforcement.
As enforcement and advocacy on dangers inherent in the use of styrofoam continues to take effect, Nigerians believe polystyrene products will be phased out. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams, NTA News.
And we're done from here. Dennis is back to you for more Nationwide.
Thank you, Adiola. Now a leading advertising technology, Integral Science IS, has inaugurated its Abuja office in Maraba as part of efforts to expand its users' net and create employment windows for teeming youths to diversify earnings. Tokwe Alabi reports.
For more than a decade, Integral AD Science, IAS, has grown from a startup company into a global top 1,000 ranked multinational enterprise listed on Nasdaq in the United States with an annual revenue of $408 million. Unveiling Abuja branch office in Maraba is in response to federal government's request to open up online business markets and create job opportunities around its 100,000 community of internet companies, including online platforms, as it projects to create more than 800,000 employment by 2025.
They help other major and minor online companies to promote their apps, the usage of their apps. So basically, they are subletting some parts of their contractual agreements to us.
Your gadgets, most importantly, either phone, laptop, and data. How do one get on board? I just send the link to you. You download the link. You make your registration. What is your registration? Your phone number.
IAS has come to stay. IAS has come to erase tears from those who have been suffering a crime. IAS is the game changer.
31-year-old Abdul Aziz Yusuf and 43-year-old Celestina Ihoma are excited about these opportunities created by IAS, with hope that other Nigerians will key into this.
At a couple of 30 days, I was able to make 450-something thousand naira. Last week, I withdrew 284,000 naira. I bought the phone to my wife. I've registered her.
I scared through. Before I start telling one or two persons, they were like, oh, this is good, but I'm scared. This is good, but I'm scared. I said, try. People kept trying. Within a month, I was able to withdraw 600,000 naira. That evidence alone blew me up.
If youth register with IAS, it will keep them off the street and they will not engage in social vices.
In the current global economic shocks, this initiative, many believed, will drive a new vista that engage skilled and unskilled youths, as well as flattened the curve of unemployment. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
More than ever before, this is the time for Nigerians to unite. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this while paying homage to the Emir of Bauchi, Dr. Rilwanu Adamu, during an official visit to the state. The First Lady, who is in Bauchi State to inaugurate and donate a women's ICT skills center to the state government, says any genuine effort to build the nation must recognize and involve women.
These are projects that are very, very important to me. And I believe that this is the time for us to know that to build any nation, we need the support of our women as well. So we are going to be bringing more programs, but I'm glad we are here to at least have a kickstart.
While noting that her intervention has changed his perception on politics and governance, Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, who joined the Emir to receive the First Lady, says her initiative is already giving Nigerians hope because of its non-partisan nature. He applauded her courage for visiting Bauchi State despite a recent attempt to portray the state as unsafe for her. For the Emir of Bauchi, the ICT Center is a cornerstone for women development, while the presence of the First Lady is an inspiration for girls in the state. Apart from the ICT Center, the First Lady will also inaugurate, or has already inaugurated, an alternative high school for girls built by the Bauchi State Universal Basic Education Board. Let's now join Salamatu in our Kaduna Network Center. Hello, Salamatu.
And a warm welcome to Kaduna. Religious leaders have urged citizens to rally behind the government in tackling the challenges of insecurity and high rates of inflation confronting the nation. The leaders during their interfaith meeting in Kaduna State says collective responsibility, unity and support to those in position of authority are ingredients that will help in navigating the issues Nigeria is confronted with at the moment. Muhammad Umar Ajingir reports.
These religious leaders representing various faiths converge to discuss and proffer solutions to the issues affecting the country, ranging from the high cost of living and insecurity. The leaders say promoting education, economic opportunities and social justice in the country is the only way forward to foster more harmonious and equitable society.
Hunger and poverty amidst flamboyant lifestyle of the ruling class often precipitates agitation, which leads to insecurity of the state.
We are collectively responsible for our challenges in this nation. The time of blame game must be over. This is the time for all stakeholders to join hands to tackle our security and developmental challenges. We must, however, approach our problems from a position of knowledge. This is why we have been agitating for state police.
They believe through collaborative efforts between the citizens and leaders at all levels, some of the solutions identified will be implemented. Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development has rolled out a final draft report on strategic development plan for Northwest Geopolitical Zone. Hadiza Mohammed reports that this is to reduce regional and area disparities and promote sustainable development in the region.
West Geopolitical Zone is blessed with abundant natural resources with enormous potentialities that needs to be explored and developed. The Stakeholders Consultative Forum on the final report of Strategic Regional Development Plan for Northwest Geopolitical Zone is the essential part of regional planning to transform the Northwest region of the country.
There's a great disparity in the regions. We have some that are well developed, some are poorly developed, and that's what the Strategic Regional Development Plan is trying to bridge to ensure that there is a balanced development in the region.
The draft final report, the stakeholders say, will serve as a guide to come up with possible potentiality of the various regions and prepare a comparative advantage for the development of the Northwest region.
It is one thing to do a plan, but planning is doing the plan and implementing the plan.
Representative of the Emir of Kano assures the support of the traditional institutions for the development of the Northwestern region and the nation at large. Stakeholders believe that if one does not plan, then he definitely plans to fail.
The Northwestern states have so many things in common.
The final draft report is to be submitted to the federal government to be adopted and be implemented in the various states of the Northwest region. In Kano, Hadiza Muhammad, NTA News.
And that is it on our package from here. Let's rejoin Dennis in our Abuja Network Center.
Thank you, Salamatu. The Federal Executive Council has commiserated with the family, government and people of Kogi State over the death of former Minister of State for Health architect Gabriel Yakubu Aduku, aged 80. Architect Aduku was a Minister of State for Health under late former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, where he played an important role in driving policies that have impacted positively on the health sector. Secretary to the Government of the Federation describes the late former Minister of State as a man whose work as the chairman of the Revenue Allocation Committee of the National Constitutional Conference birthed the 13% derivation formula, which is embedded in the 1999 Constitution as amended. He was a masterful architect who contributed to the eradication of quackery in the architectural field through effective monitoring during his tenure as President of Architects Registration Council of Nigeria, ARCON. And with that, we conclude Nationwide. Many thanks for watching. I am Dennis at Aduku.